Hi, I'm Joey. I'm the producer of Battlestations 2nd Edition.
I'm Jeff Sayedek. I'm the designer. All right, here's what we're talking about now. It's the Science Bay. The Science Bay has 2 battle stations, and you're going to come here and use the Science Bay to scan, get scans on enemy ships or missiles or anything else in the system. The difficulty is half the distance in hexes.
Okay, so what does that mean to scan a ship?
Well, when you scan a ship, then you get a scan on them. And that means you can look at the ship, the power levels, and everything on the ship. You can't find things that are necessarily hidden on the ship, but you will know basic things like you'll be able to see there's somebody in which module, and you'll be able to see the power levels. And that sort of thing.
Well, give me an example of when you would really need to know that. Like for example, the mission we played 2 days ago, I probably wouldn't have gotten aboard in a boarding missile and gone to the other ship while I was already wounded if I had known that it was all silicoids on board.
Yeah, it was a tough crew for him to fight. It was good fun. Yeah, if you'd had a scan, you might have sat back and just tried to blow up the ship. Instead, they went over and fought a narrow boarding action. And
right.
It was exciting, but it worked out.
Okay, so you said it's the distance divided by 2.
Distance divided by 2.
And you round up?
You round up. In battle stations, you round up unless otherwise stated.
Okay.
So, the other thing you can do with a scan is you can reroll hit allocation. So, imagine if a shot is coming in and this is the 7 column and you roll an 8, but you really want it to be, you roll a 6 and a 2. So you might say, oh, I'm going to re-roll that 6 and hope to get a lower number. And you spend scans to do that.
So a hit allocation is when someone's racking your ship with fire?
Yeah, when you're shooting an enemy ship to see where a missile comes in, or where a teleporter bomb comes in, or where a shot with your cannon comes in, any sort of, or if you're ramming the other ship, where that hit enters. But you couldn't use a scan on a ram, because rams are really not quite that delicate.
So, if a missile's coming in fast, can I scan the missile and find out what kind of missile it is?
You can, and people often do, but really, whatever kind of missile it is, you should probably just blast it instead.
Got it.
So the other thing about the Science Bay is the Science Bay is needed to generate shields. If your Science Bay is broken, then your ship can't have shields power added to it. And if your Science Bay is slagged, that's 2 broken markers, then your shields level drops to 0. Which is really good if you're trying to teleport over to an enemy ship. You kill their shields and it's a lot easier.
So there's a really famous mechanism with the Science Bay that is pretty unique to battle stations, involving sort of the yes/no question concept with the computer. Tell me about that.
That is the yes/no question concept with the computer. That was invented by Jason Sayedek, my brother. I am very proud of him. And his plan was that you can use this more like a role-playing game, so because you have an enemy player, he can answer any of the yes or no questions. So the difficulty to do that is using the Science Bay against the difficulty of the distance in hexes. So if you're 7 hexes away from, say, some incoming energy blob, and you're wondering, is that going to hurt us? Is that going to be something that we need to... Will shields protect us against it? Is it going to hit us this phase? Is it going to diminish over time? Is there sentience? Can we talk to it? These are all questions that you might want to ask, and thanks to the Science Bay, you can do that.
So what kind of question could you ask? What kind of question could you not ask?
All of those questions. It's a yes or no question. So any question that has a yes or no answer, you can ask it.
I mean, could it be things like, what color is Jeff's underwear?
You could ask that question, and it would be the answer would be white most of the time.
But it's a probability.
Oh, so but no, sorry, you couldn't ask what color Jeff's underwear is. You could ask if Jeff's underwear is white, and the answer would be yes.
I see. So it's based on a probability, based on the computer has a bunch of knowledge programmed in, and it's based on
guess. Yes, you're analyzing the data that you're getting.
Right.
And the difficulty is the distance plus 3 for each additional question. So if you wanted to ask about something on your own ship, it's 0 hexes away because it's in the same hex as your ship, obviously.
Right.
So then the difficulty is 0, and you'd add 3 for each additional question. So you could ask 4 questions. If it really was about somebody on board your ship and you want to know if they're going to explode, or if they're dangerous, or if they're really on the bad guy side, or whatever, you can ask a lot of yes or no questions because the distance is so small. And as always, when you use it, not as always, but for most modules, when you use it, it gets a use marker, and the difficulty to use the Science Bay is plus 3 for each use marker you have.
Very good. And then what happens if it's totally slagged? 2 use markers, right?
No, 2 damage markers.
2 damage markers.
Then you can't use a broken module. Everybody knows that.
Okay. Well, that would be the Science
Bay.
Thank you very much.